Fresh attempts. Monti returned on the 18th of March of 1893 to present the changes to the Constitution, including the priesthood. It was accompanied by testimonial letters by bishops. Some members of the order should be ordered priests. This would be for the greatest benefit of the sick in the hospital and would make up for the increasing deficiency of priests in the diocese. They would be able to give spiritual comfort to the dying. Monti spent all the 1893 rewriting the text of the Constitution because he would wait the support of the various cardinals and more involved in this process. He worked sacrificing his physical health. He received the text back to make a few corrections. He spent a whole night rewriting it by candlelight. He had to spend the next 3 months in darkness. In Friar Monti's spirituality, frequently pilgrimages to shrines played an important part. They were places for receiving special graces. In Rome, he had a special devotion to Our Lady of Saint Augustine. He asked Our Lady of Varese for the recovery of his physical strength. He explained how future priests would be chosen from those who had been exemplary nurses, at least 12 years in religious life. Even though Monti became convinced of the necessity of the priorhood for the Institute, it had never entered his head that he himself should study theology. Monti had made it clear to the friars who were looking after the sick that they also needed to look after their spiritual welfare. Monti said, "If one of us had been a priest, who besides being a spiritual director to the religious family, could also be chaplain of the sick in our care." For the Institute, the things were being made very difficult. He wrote a letter to Brother Stanislao Guglielmetti, replying to his letter in which he read the terrible decision regarding the priesthood. "I felt that my heart had been pierced, which made me sad and melancholy. But I went straight to the chapel, in front of the Blessed Sacrament and Mary. I offered up whatever happened, offering myself to Jesus. I prayed to them for my opponents, asking for their good and that their souls would be saved. This would make the Institute even more resplendent. Peace, tranquility, and prayers." Facing the failure, he told the friars to accept the Holy Father's decision. They made a clause which said that the priesthood of the Consentini would depend on individual bishops. Monti was happy by the concession. His extraordinary courage was not yet over. After so many trials, he was almost constant pain. Forlornly spoke out against the priesthood of the Consentini, calling them disobedient, while the Jesuit, Father Busseroni, repeated all Angelini's arguments and judgments. Monti has placed every hope in God alone and in his friars. The Institute was, without doubt, his work and a proof of his help and his providence. It is clear that the devil has unleashed himself against the Cosettini, said Brother Jerome Pesini, commenting to Monti on the Cardinal's letter. All the opposition, he felt, was the result of the misunderstanding of distortion through which a director attempt to increase the ministerial services and the spiritual resources of the hospitaller, patients, and orphans appeared to be audacity and rebellion. The devil conducted his battle against the family of the Immaculate Conception, but he was convinced that the good cause, which was for the glory of God and of Mary, would triumph. He repeated those concepts in various occasions to the Friar Hospitaller. He recalled an apparition of Jesus and Mary that he had had some years before, where they had assured him of his triumph. The Cardinal Prefect sent him the declaration which clearly excluded Monti's ideas. He said, "Everything is fine, but the priesthood is absolutely impossible." Monti was strong, like an alpine rock against the storm. In 1898, he had to journey to Rome. It was a journey that was almost too much for his poor health. He went back to Lombardy in February of 1899, and, almost without any physical strength left, he spent the days and most of the nights praying rather than working. In May of that year, he wrote again to his truly Raimondi.